You mentioned advanced nuclear reactors. What kind of reactors do you consider to be advanced reactors? This is different than small modular reactors.
Right. This would be different types of design, the high temperature gas reactor, a pebble bed reactor. They're modernized forms of some reactors, molten salt reactor. There are different types of designs.
And what kind of work are you doing on those types of design?
Well, we have some limited work that we're doing now. With the $5 million off-fee proposal, we would continue work on regulatory infrastructure, addressing some of these issues about readiness to handle those. There are some technical some technical issues we would do, and then also engagement with the companies or entities who may be interested in it, and also continuing engagement internationally. For example, the Generation 4 Forum, which is a group of countries, including the United States, that is interested in that potential advanced reactor design.
I wonder if any of the other commissioners would have any comment about the role of advanced nuclear reactors in the future for our country.
I'll comment, Senator. Because I had a chance just 2 weeks ago to be out in your state at Oak Ridge to talk at a conference on advanced reactor technology development. And there's a lot of interest out there. There were 21 different vendors that were represented at this conference for 2 days. As the chairman mentioned, there's technologies being discussed that are non-light water reactor, very different from our current reactor fleet, very different from small modular reactors. I heard one that was being discussed that was a lead bismuth design. I'd never heard of that before, but in addition to pebble bed and molten salt that the chairman mentioned. So there's a lot of interest in different technologies. I think most of these are very interesting, and some of them have promise, but I think at the end of the day, the vendors and the investors, especially the venture capital community, is trying to look at, does this make economic sense? So I think the economic question is perhaps the biggest one rather than a technical question.
Yes, Commissioner.
Chairman Alexander, may I state, bring to the subcommittee's attention that although it is true that these advanced reactor types are very different than what we have in commercial generation now, the history of nuclear power development in the United States, actually many of these concepts are where we began as a country. If you visit Oak Ridge National Laboratory, Idaho National Laboratory, you find that we developed small-scale prototypes of some of these sodium-cooled reactors. So it's a very interesting challenge to try to access some of that knowledge from 50, 60 years ago, and many of those leading experts have retired. But there is, in the Department of Energy, Atomic Energy Commission history, a lot of relevant information. And in this country, we tried a lot of these things.
That's very interesting. Commissioner
I just
Barron.
briefly add, going back to the budget piece of this, I think the approach of funding advanced reactor activities separate from the fees licensees pays actually makes a lot of sense here, because I'd have a hard time justifying charging current plants for the work we're doing to get ready for future advanced reactor applications. I think having it separate from the fees is a fairer approach, but it makes sure that we have the funds we need to move forward on some of these regulatory and technical issues.
Thank you for that. Senator Feinstein.